Over the past year, I've had the opportunity to test and review 20 different products from various companies. And a while back, I installed one of those solar lights, and my subscriber by the name of Mike asked that I do an update after a couple of months. And so I thought, why not do an update on all the products that I have done so far? So I've got them listed here. I'm going to do 1 to 20. And if you want to check out one of these, I will do 1 to 20 in the description, do the Amazon links. So if you want to check them out, then you can do it. Okay, the very first product that I got to test was the fence armor. And that is the metal plate that goes at the bottom of a fence post so that when you're weed eating, you won't destroy your fence post, but it will hit that metal. I've used this a couple times with the weed eater. And if you watch the original test of that, it holds up very well. I sat and just ran out my string on that fence guard and nothing ever happened. So almost a year later, that product looks just as new as it did when it came out of the box. So I have no complaints with fence armor. And that's not an Amazon product that I know of. So I will link to the fence armor website down below. Okay, next, there's no real order to these. That just happened to be my first one, but the rest of them are just kind of jumbled up. So the Mulcolor night lights. That one works well. It comes on at various lighting settings depending on the amount of light that's hitting the sensor. The problem I have with that light is you pretty much have to just plug in that light. There's not quite enough room to plug in something else in the second receptacle of that outlet. So if you have a place, like for instance, we keep ours behind the dog's crate for some light for the dogs, and we don't ever use that other receptacle, so it works out well there. But if you're looking to use a night light and another plug, kind of an issue. So but other than that, the night light works just like you would expect. The Mulcolor LED bulbs I have here in the workshop right now, and I have had zero issues with them. They are exactly as advertised, and I've had them installed now for a couple of months, and I am pleased with them. So yeah, no real complaints with the Mulcolor LED bulbs. I received the Car Dog Leash for the car. At first I thought this is kind of a silly thing. Why would you leash your dog in the car? But of course I realized that it is for safety of both you and the dog and everybody else around you. So I just hadn't ever considered that. But now in North Carolina, a law has been passed that you can get a fine and a ticket basically if your dog is in the driver's lap. So now it's even more important to have a leash on your dog while in the car. So my mind has definitely been changed on this product and definitely works well. Very sturdy. The bungee is quite nice. Of course, the dogs we have are really small, like 10-pound dogs, so it doesn't take much to hold them in a seat. But I could see with a larger dog, it'd be very nice to have that sturdy leash. With the dogs we have, I would like to have a smaller leash because the way my car is, the seat belts are so close to the driver's side that my dogs can kind of hop over. So with little dogs, it'd be worthwhile getting the smaller version of that Car Dog Leash. But I have zero issues with this. It seems to work in every car that I've tested it in, and definitely holds the dog in the seat belt, so it's very good. The Ankway Christmas lights were part of a Land House giveaway, so I don't have those now to really give much of an update, but whenever I was testing and reviewing, I like them. There was no issue that I found at all, except that the wires were a little flimsy, so if you use them for a long time, they may eventually break, but they are as advertised, and I had no issues with them. The Voona yard lights were the pack of 8. You see these kind of lights on driveways and walkways. They just provide a little bit of light. What I like about them is they charge fully in just a couple hours, and last almost all night. So definitely very bright. One thing about these lights that was fun, a comment was received by Paw TX that if the power is out in the house, you can unscrew that light, bring it inside and set it down solar panel on a table, and it will provide light for most of the night in your home free of charge. So definitely was fun to have that actually happen when the power was out. So those lights definitely work well, have had zero issues with them, except for maybe the spike is only a few inches tall, and after a really hard freeze the next morning sometimes a light will fall over. So if your ground is prone to freezing and rising up a little bit, you may have some toppling over at times with those. I just received the Thorfire fairy lights, and they have been working very well. I like all the settings on there. I did order a second pair of those so that I could finish the other corner of Ashley's office so that she can film with both sides going. Now, I'm not sure if she's going to use the flashing settings. If she does, it might be a little difficult to get them to flash at the same time. So I'll have to look into that. But as far as functionality, they are working just as expected. So good product. Now, I just got the JMKMGL Canopy light, and I'm using it right now. It's very bright. Definitely supposed to be for an exterior setting, like a gas station, or in a bigger place like a basketball court or someplace. But in this little workshop here, it provides great light for filming. So definitely have enjoyed having this light in here. And they're a little expensive, I think, but they are built like a tank. So definitely look into that if you're looking for a very bright light. I just tested and reviewed the Dephen 12-4 light, which I've got right here in the workshop. This will be an upcoming giveaway since I already have plenty of lights around the house here. The light seems to work well. It's got, of course, the LEDs on the back and on the front. And I've not really had much of a chance to test this other than the couple of hours I used this charging and testing it here, what was that, last week. So as far as longevity goes, not entirely sure, but it seems like a pretty decent light. And like I mentioned in the review, most of the lights I have reviewed do not have this great indication here of what each setting does. So it's really nice to have that. I had the chance to test and review the Amir Booklight, and it's pretty much just your typical Booklight, but I really appreciate that it comes with the wall plug to recharge the battery. My mom's got a few lights that she uses for her music, and she asked if she could have that light to go downstairs in her music room for one of her pianos that she's got. So she's using that and seems to enjoy it pretty good and has had no complaints. I received the Cinoton exterior work light, and the issue I had was getting those knockouts so that I could install the light. I had to use the drill to drill out the back. Now, if I had taken a screwdriver and really hammered that down, probably would have popped out. I've actually talked with the fellow who is in charge of manufacturing those, and they're going to see about putting some perforations around those knockouts, perhaps to better enable somebody to install that instead of having to use so much force. So hopefully there'll be an update to that soon. As far as the light's function goes, I like it. Extremely bright. The white reflectors inside seem to reflect that light really well. So I've enjoyed having that out here on the side of the workshop. The Thorfire work light was a review that I was kind of like, I'm not so sure about. I like that light a lot. It's so great for getting to small places that you would have to regularly hold a light to. For instance, when I was filming the Keurig clean-out video, I'm setting up the camera and thinking, it's just not quite enough light, even with my studio light. So I just grabbed that Thorfire work light and angle it in to where I want it. So I find myself using that light more and more. It's got the magnet on the back side and that hook, so you can use it on your car too. And I find that I use the angled flashlight a little bit more than the side light, but I have no complaints. And for that thing to last 3 days on a full set of batteries, you know that you're going to get light. So if you're having this in your emergency kit, you can expect good things from it. So do check that one out if you have the opportunity. In the early part of the winter, I was concerned about how cold the crawl space was below the house, and so I contacted Crosse Technologies, and they sent me one of their thermometers. One of the first times I'd ever actually reached out to a company to see if they would send me things. And it turns out a lot of companies are quite willing to get their product out there on review. And I like this product very much. It has failed 0 times and definitely is accurate. I've tested it against a couple other thermometers and it's spot on every time. But I like how you just pull your phone out, even if you're in another state, you can say, oh yeah, the crawl space is fine. So I definitely like that. Now one thing, when you get the product, they give you a couple of months free of alerts. I didn't really care much for the alerts. You could either do a text message alert or an email alert. There may have been one other, just to say, hey, the sensor's not working, or it's reached a threshold, like, you know, below freezing. And so they would alert you to whether or not something's going on. There was different things you could set up for an alert, but I found them to be not important to me because I knew that over a month's time, the crawl space down there had stayed at a good temperature, so there was really no issue, no need to have an alert. So I actually turned those off. And after 3 months, they sent a couple emails saying, hey, your alerts are about to go dead. If you want to pay monthly, you can have those reenacted for the full price of the product. Like, it's just a couple dollars a month. But so anyway, that's the only real negative I had about that product, was that the alerts. Anyway, you can make the judge call for yourself because you may need them. I didn't really need them, but it's up to you. I received the Macupon LED solar light, and it's sitting outside the front door still and works great. Ashley and I were concerned about getting from the car to the door when I forgot to turn on the porch light, which was quite often. And so now we have that light to turn on whenever the car drives up, and it's on, the setting we like it on is dim when there's no movement, and when motion is detected, comes on for 15 seconds. And sensor's great, picks up even the dogs, so it's definitely a good security light. The Cinoton torch light is one that I was looking forward to getting in, and stuck it in the ground, turned it on, and it's really fascinating. It's just a flame LED light, and nothing really special about it, but I still laugh every time I drive up to the house and there it is, just burning away, because how often do you have a torch in the front yard of your house? So I gave one of those to my brother-in-law and one to my brother, and they've got it in their front yards, and I believe it attracts a good conversation with neighbors. So it's just a fun light, so check that out if you have a chance. The solar spotlight was one that I received pretty early on, and it does exactly what it advertises, but I like to see it a little bit brighter than it is. It seems like it uses more of your traditional LED instead of your ultra bright, and it's just not quite as bright as I would like it to be. Other than that, it's exactly as advertised. The Mozeat lens fisheye and 20 times zoom camera attachment lens, they work as advertised, but the problem I had was the fisheye gives that black ring around the cell phone, and I also found it's best to use those lenses without a case. And I mean, with the way I am, I have to have a case on my cell phone. I'm hitting it on trees and bump it with tools and stuff, so it's kind of inconvenient to peel back the case to put that on for the best picture. The 20 times zoom was definitely a lot better than the fisheye as far as getting the full picture in the camera. Now, I've not really used either one of these much since I have so many other cameras, but if it was your main camera to use your cell phone, I could see that it would be very practical to have that the zoom and the fisheye. So they may not appeal to me as much, but definitely has a place in photography, so do check those out. Now, the Mozeat Lens mini tripod I use all the time. I actually currently use the GoPro as a filming camera, and it's where I put my GoPro. Attach that there, and it has a great handle for filming, you know, with more stability. And also, it allows you to just set the camera down and you'll know that it's not going to tip over. The only issue I've had with the Mozeat Lens tripod is one of the rubber stoppers on the legs wants to peel off. And I've got it on my desk right now, and I intend on just dropping a little bit of cement there or glue and getting that issue fixed. So other than that, it has worked very well, and I have really enjoyed having that miniature tripod. Another product that I received fairly early on was the Red Ant G2 headphones. I use these all the time. When I go to work at third shift and I'm cleaning, I will put in my headphones with my iPod and go to town just cleaning. And if I'm sitting on the couch and Ashley's watching TV and Emma's asleep, I put them in, use my laptop to edit a video. So I definitely recommend checking out those headphones if you're looking for a decent pair of headphones, because I use them all the time. I know I did the drop test and they got some scuff marks, but they've worked flawlessly for me, so definitely a good product. The last product here is one of Ashley and I's favorite products that I have tested and reviewed, and that's the Cinoton Solar LED Light. It's in shape, it's pretty much the same as a lot of these others I have tested, but it stays on when motion is detected for 45 seconds. That's huge compared to most lights that are 15 seconds. We have really enjoyed that it stays on much longer than the other lights. As far as its dim setting, it's the same as most of them, but you know, activated with motion, it's great. So if you're looking for a security light or motion detected light, definitely check out that light. So that's number 20, I believe, in this list. Well, that was definitely a mouthful, but I felt like it was worth my time to just give a quick update on the products I have tested within the last year. Now, companies are contacting me all the time, and so I just got a sneak peek of what's coming up. I've got a cross cube level, which should be very helpful here in the workshop. I've also got a few more solar lights. This one right here is great because it detaches from the light and the solar panel and has an extension cable, so you can put the solar panel up on the roof and this on the dark side of your house. So that's kind of new and interesting. I've also got a set of brass hose nozzles coming in, and maybe some keyboards to test out. So always some new stuff on the way, and I will update those probably a year from now. So thank you very much for watching. If you like any of these products, I will have them all linked down below. And if you use one of the Amazon links that I post, I will get anywhere from like 2 to 6% of the sale, and you would still pay normal price. So just wanted to mention that if you'd like to help out the channel here. I'm Seth Johnson with Land House, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.